Hello and welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics to another Big Finish audio review. Today we'll be taking a look at a release from the Time Lord Victorious range. We'll be taking a look at the very popular Genetics of the Daleks, featuring the 4th Doctor, written by Jonathan Morris. Yep, when this one was announced it got a wee bit hype around it, and yet this release sold pretty damn well. A lot of hype surrounding it. Did it live up to the hype? Well, find out in this review. But oh yeah, I was interested in this release. Absolutely looked like the Ark in space featuring Daleks. That's one of the best ways to put it with Genetics of the Daleks. Ark in space, but with Daleks instead of Wirren. A very special release because it's a prequel to Escape Hunt, which is a live escape room. In this live escape hunt, you are on a doomed spaceship where a rogue Dalek has tapped into the power system in an attempt to recharge its weapons. You must prevent this catastrophe from happening, and by shutting down the ship's power source, it will not get its weapons. However, the ship's life support systems rely on the same energy source, so you and your group must solve that riddle and puzzle out for yourself to result in the death of 10,000 passengers, perhaps happening if you do shut off the power. And you have 60 minutes to get out of this situation, otherwise the Daleks will exterminate you. Yes, this is a sequel, sorry, not a sequel, this is a prequel to the Escape Hunt. And I could say this release is, I can say straight off the bat, no second thoughts, that this release is very beginner friendly. You can just pick this one up and have no problems whatsoever. I know Time Lord Victorious is part of quite like a convoluted, series going on. Like, should I listen to this? Will I understand it? Yeah, of course you'll listen to it. It does make a reference to a story and things. You'll hear references. You go, I don't know anything about that. That might happen. That will happen in this release, but it's nothing integral to what's going on in Genetics of the Daleks, so nothing to worry about. So if you're potentially worried about not understanding it, no, these releases are very beginner friendly. From the beginning we are introduced to the supporting characters who are being revived from cryo status, such as Swan and Jake Finlay. The atmosphere is, as I stated before, very similar to the Ark in space. And the supporting characters, we have Professor Brook, Security Officer Swan, Medical Officer Chook, Graf, Finlay, and of course the Daleks. The beginning of the story is heavily focused on the supporting characters. The 4th Doctor doesn't really get involved into what's happening. About 15 minutes into the story, it's quite a big opening to the supporting characters. Just sets everything up in motion, very easy to follow. So yeah, you're probably thinking, where's the 4th Doctor gonna turn up? I want to see some 4th Doctor action. Yeah, it takes a while, but the reason why it does that, it just wants to set up what's going on. We can see the main plot with the Dalek hiding behind the shadows, manipulating events, and also a subplot as well. Not really integral to the main story of what the Daleks want to achieve, but we have criminals who are on Starship Future, who have their own plans. And this is discovered by criminals being on the ship, by Officer Swan discovering that tech has been stolen, missing and tampered with. And as well, as I said, by the title of the story, you can work out what the Daleks want to achieve with the 10,000 passengers. There seems to be a lot of tension, suspicion and deceit running in the atmosphere, which I really like, because there's just no trust in each other with these all this tampered equipment being apparently stolen, so it feels like there's no trust with these criminals about, and it just makes the whole atmosphere feel very tense and just untrustworthy, deceitful. I love that atmosphere in it as well. Really backed up by the music score of this as well, and the sound design of the ship. And when the main plot and the subplot is being established, we kind of know the ins and outs of what's happening, and the 4th Doctor will come to hopefully save the day. Because the 4th Doctor does arrive after quite a big section of the supporting characters have been introduced and characterized, and get a taste of each of their characters. and whimsical and witty as ever. Brilliant writing by Jonathan Morris, because there's some really nice like pieces of dialogue in the Fourth Doctor, which is just so typical for the Fourth Doctor to say. And again, of course, brilliant performances from Tom Baker. Why would it not be? This type of situation with the Daleks isn't something we've not seen or experienced. It's just something straight out like Power of the Daleks or Dalek. There's only like one single Dalek who's like controlling and manipulating the events. Very similar to Dalek and Power of the Daleks. The Daleks at the start have been seen as weak, powerless. Well, actually, no, weak. Maybe the wrong way to describe it, because weak is definitely not the way I would describe how much power actually the Dalek has. But from how we kind of view the Dalek, it's not at its full strength. It's still powerless. It has no weaponry or offensive capabilities, but again, its manipulation tactics and the way it deceives people and influences them. That's what I really like about Daleks, because they just have another trick up their sleeve. They don't always rely on it, because their favourite method is extermination. It just gives the Daleks something. It gives them a lot more of a fascinating look than just being deadly killing machines. And once they have no longer see you useful in the situation, they will simply dispose of you as just a pawn, and that's it, to move their agenda along of exterminating all inferior life. The main plot is standard, easy to digest. The subplot, yeah, it's okay, but I think it definitely adds some more like tension and deceit in the atmosphere. Probably what my favourite part of this story is with the Dalek makes a reference of a future incarnation, describing him as the destroyer of worlds, a warrior, the one without compassion. When the Dalek threatens the Doctor, he will turn into something you think he will never become. An awesome reference to Dalek by the Dalek quoting, "You would make a good Dalek." The Fourth Doctor, being stubborn is his nature, saying that the Dalek is just lying, just playing with him, playing mind games. And then the Dalek comes back and saying Daleks don't lie, because this Dalek has encountered other incarnations of the Doctor. And comes to my favourite piece of dialogue where the Fourth Doctor says, "Am I your favourite?" Which is probably my favourite piece of dialogue from the story, alongside what the Dalek says. Like, scare the Doctor like this future incarnation where he becomes something he never could believe would be possible. But yeah, for the characters, the Fourth Doctor is just on top performance. He's written so well in the story because he has so many wonderful pieces of dialogue, which I know Jonathan Morris is really good at, because he's been familiar with the Fourth Doctor a very long time, way back into the BBC books. The Dalek and the Mutant, I love it where there's only one single Dalek. We do see more Daleks like later on as the story progresses. The title should give you an idea of how that plays out, but the Dalek's great. We just see another layer to the Daleks, as I said, more deceitful and relying on other tactics, because they have no offensive capabilities. Professor Brook, this was played by Andrew James Spooner. He was nothing but a puppet for the Daleks, pretty much. Nothing but a puppet. It just goes to show how much influence and control the Daleks can have over their pawns, and just discard them, or to push their own agenda. Security Officer Swan, which is played by Nina White. Really liked her character. She was a very ballsy character, and yeah, let's just say she goes out in a bang. Michael Jupp, which is Clive Mantle. Yeah, if I say too much about his character, yeah, he's linked to more of the subplot side of things. I found his character quite funny, because he felt like kind of a jokester, like just sarcastic the whole way through this story. I wouldn't really call it false bravado. He just seems more ignorant of his surroundings, but yeah, good character. Graf, which is Peter Hayward. Strong and stern authority figure. This is the captain of Starship Future. Good performances from her. Finley again, Joseph Klotska. Hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He did good as well. Best performance wise, it's just Tom Baker. He just wins it really. So he wins tops for characters within this story. His dialogue is just, I think, some of the best I've experienced from a Fourth Doctor story. It's just, his dialogue just makes me smile in this one. That always happens when listening to the Fourth Doctor, but this one just has some sort of magic in it, and just the dialogue he has in the story, it's just really well done. It's just really well done. So overall, what did I think about Genetics of the Daleks? It's a great Fourth Doctor story. Simple as that, really. I really enjoyed it. As I stated, that it takes like 15 minutes for the supporting characters to get set up, and it takes a while for the Doctor to get into it. I wouldn't call that sluggish or anything. It moves at a good pace and it keeps you intrigued. You're going, I want the Fourth Doctor to solve this. And I would say it feels a little bit, it's got a little bleak undertone in this one. And I do love the Daleks' dialogue in this story, especially when trying to put fear in the Fourth Doctor, and when the Doctor accuses the Dalek of playing mind games, the Dalek simply just shuts him down with a fact, and that just makes the Daleks just make that whole part just so much more impacting and gravitas, and so good that was. That was my favourite moment of Genetics of the Daleks. Fortunately, can't say too much about it because I'll just spoil too much of it, because it's only an hour-long story. But it's a flipping good one. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed this from start to finish. Yeah, for a rating for Genetics of the Daleks, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. A very simple but brilliant story from Time Lord Victorious. Very easy, beginner friendly. Should have no problem with it. So yeah, that was my review of Genetics of the Daleks. A strong 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I would say the ending is what, if I was trying to find a nitpick with it, yeah, it's the ending. It just ends a little too abrupt for me. And if that didn't happen, I probably would have given it a 9 if I'm honest. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Really good Fourth Doctor story. And I would say, in terms of dialogue, it's like up there. This story has like something special in itself, and I just love the dialogue in it. But anyway, that was my review of Genetics of the Daleks from Time Lord Victorious. Next review, it'll be Colony of Fear in the monthly range. Thanks for watching, and of course, have a good one.